Daisy Ridley wants Star Wars fans to voice their opinion in a less vicious manner. That's the headline on this week's Force Friday show. And Stephen, it's pretty self-explanatory. I don't think I have to break down the actual meaning behind the actress's words.
Yeah.
She has essentially come out and says that it's no secret that Star Wars fans or Star Wars movies will have their detractors, but that she doesn't want the vocal outpouring to be so full of vitriol, so vitriolic. What are your thoughts on that? Do you agree with Daisy?
No, well, none of us like criticism, but she did say a few weeks ago, John, that while she supports fans' desire to be expressive of their opinions, she'd like them to do it in a slightly different way. So it kind of echoes, it's, you know, what she said's been fattened out a little bit. I don't know if anyone at Lucasfilm, Disney have actually had a word with her, but this is all part and parcel of any franchise, any film. You know, you're going to get people that like the film, you're going to get people that don't like the film. Yeah. She actually said, I think there's an example where she was at a friend's party and a complete stranger came up and said they didn't like The Last Jedi, and she took this personally. I wouldn't say that's a personal attack, that's someone's opinion on the film.
It's a bit aggressive though, isn't it?
Well,
right up, I didn't like The Last Jedi. Not, hi, how you doing, Daisy? Just, I hated The Last Jedi.
So there.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it, to be honest with you, John.
Yeah.
It's all part and parcel of today's society. Daisy Ridley does say, you know, it's the social media effect it's having on films these days, that people have got the platform now. She's not saying this, I am. You know, they've got the platform to voice their concerns, their opinions, their likes, their dislikes. So you just got to take it, I'm afraid.
Yes, Stephen, it's just life, as you did say. In all walks of life and in all forms of entertainment and art, you will have detractors, and a tiny little minuscule proportion of that fan base will express those views in a manner which is perhaps a little bit vitriolic.
Well, when you cross the line, it's a different thing with the actress that played Rose Tico. Can't remember her name, but
how can I?
But in all seriousness, you know, there is a line you don't cross when you're personally attacking, you know, actors.
Yes, it's
not on. But in this case, perhaps the person could have went up to Daisy Ridley and introduced themselves before they said they hated the film, but would it have made a difference? Probably not.
Probably not, no, because I tend to get the feeling, Stephen, that those involved in the Last Jedi are a little precious at times. It's a little precious petals. It was Kelly Marie Tran, incidentally, who played Rose Tico. I searched up Rose Tico and it auto-corrected to Rose Tick. You can take from that what you want. I'm taking nothing from it because it's just an autocorrect. But yes, Stephen, in terms of the actual headline and the article, I can understand what Daisy's saying. I can get the general gist of what she's trying to say. She's trying to redirect some of that passion and a burning desire for things to be correct, and perhaps a more healthy way of doing it. A more constructive way of expressing it. But it's social media, it's 2019, people will not listen. We've seen it with some of the YouTube comments as well. Yeah. I don't care though, I've got thick skin, I'm certainly not a precious petal. No. I see much worse every day staying in Glasgow. But I can understand what she's saying. It's never going to work though. Certainly not when you have the likes of Ryan Johnson calling these people man babies. You're just, that's like pouring lighter fuel onto the fire. It's not the right way to go about it.
This is the thing, it's got to work both ways. You know, you can't have, the director of the film coming out and saying things like that and not expect a backlash. So
you can't plead for level-headedness in your fan base,
especially when you've got a round head.
Yes, I'd said it, not you, Stephen. I've got a round head as well. I can't talk about anybody, but Stephen, I've not got much more to add. It's a short and sweet little headline. Vocal outpouring of vitriol will always be a thing that will exist, certainly in Star Wars, just through the very nature of the franchise. It's something that's so close to people's hearts, their souls. People have grown up with this, they've lived their life through these characters vicariously, they've shaped them in some way or the other. And when you do something to disrupt perhaps the legacy characters like Mark Hamill's Luke Skywalker, Carrie Fisher's Princess Leia, Harrison Ford's Han Solo. I started off by saying Mark Hamill and then the character name, so I then felt like I had to continue on with it. But if you do anything to disrupt those characters in any way or change their preconceived notions of what they should be, then it's going to cause
a lot of people think they
hate.
should still be on Endor having that party.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And that's because they grew up reading the expanded universe novels where Lando was serving Luke hot chocolate on the top of a building, and they continued on their journey all the way through.
There's a reason I avoided these books.
It's hot chocolate
Wow.
on the top of a building.
Storytelling.
Yeah, he had insomnia, and that's how they solved it. Lando was at hand to obviously help Luke out with hot chocolate. You can see why Disney came in and subsequently ditched the expanded universe. Timothy Zahn's novel was out the way, the Plagueis novel out the way. Terrible. But look, Stephen, I'll move on to the next topic. This is again all about, it's not about Daisy Ridley, it's just they have Rey as the primary picture. It's all about reported Rise of Skywalker reshoots, and should we as fans be worried about this? Should we, Stephen?
No, I don't think so, because most films have reshoots. It just happens to be a Star Wars film, and there's going to be more focus on it. You mentioned, John, and you made a very good point, the only Star Wars film in the Disney collection so far hasn't had any reshoots has been The Last Jedi. I'll not say what you said after that, but I don't worry about things like this. Probably the biggest talking point of reshoots was Rogue One, and I think that turned out well in the end. Obviously the actors and the people, you know, on set behind the cameras or whatever, know a different story because they know different versions of events, you know, how that film ended up. Also, you've got the chap Gilroy, I think it's called.
Gilroy,
coming out maybe about 18 months ago, saying a lot of bad things that kind of...
Yeah, about Gareth Edwards.
Yeah, well, not directly to him, it was more to do with the sort of state of the film, which I thought indirectly was towards Edwards. But yeah, I mean, these things happen. I would rather they reshot things that concern them to make the better film. Yeah. And J.J. Abrams, I'm pretty sure he had some reshoots to do in The Force Awakens as well. Certainly some of the early filming of Daisy Ridley had to be reshot.
Yeah,
because
apparently she was a little bit nervous.
Yeah, and he didn't hold back. He said she was very wooden. So, you know, this is what you want. You want the director wants to make the best film that he possibly can. You know, putting his ego aside if he's that way. Yeah. You know, and his arrogance, and if he can see things that are possibly not working, pacing or pick up shots is a different thing. But it's changing off the story slightly to suit the narrative. It might not work. The directors, you know, J.J. Abrams is obviously in the process of putting this film together just now, so he'll know exactly what he needs to complete this film in his vision.
Yes, and not just that, Stephen. I recall Dominic Monaghan speaking about 6, maybe longer, months back, maybe as far back as 8, 9 months, speaking about when he was first introduced to JJ and about the role, and that they had this semi-vision in mind for the character, but that he was perhaps going to expand the character getting into the final act, which was apparently going to be very explosive. And there was talk of Adam Driver coming back from cancelling a university appearance for a talk to go and do additional shots. I think that may have been pick-up shots. So it's been very flexible and fluid in the way it's been shot. We spoke about the editor being on set, editing as he went along. So this lends itself for perhaps a more fluid creation of a movie. Yeah. So I feel like this isn't anything to worry about at all. This is something that's common nature, or just commonplace in big blockbuster movies in today's day and age of filmmaking. Disney have endless pits of money almost. They're just raking it in every year with billions of dollars. I mean, I think Toy Story's just about to hit $1 billion perhaps. Yeah. Aladdin's not far off $1 billion. That's not even the main releases. You've got the MCU movies. So if any company, any studio has the ability to go back and rejig a movie but as you did say, help the director's vision in some way, then it's Disney. I'm not concerned, and as you did say, Stephen, Tony Gilroy came out and criticised Rogue One, says it was a mess. Yeah. He stepped in and rejigged a few things. I think it was mostly the ending. Yeah. I think Gareth Edwards initially had all of the people involved surviving. He came back, Tony Gilroy came in and changed that, made it more darker. They were all killed off one by one. I thought that made the movie a better experience. So sometimes reshoots are for the best. They help the movie flow better, they help character arcs maybe end in a better manner, more efficient manner. Endgame had reshoots as well. They were reshooting things up till very late in the process. That's right, yeah. So it's not anything to be concerned about at all. I will briefly touch on The Last Jedi before I move on. You're absolutely right, Stephen. I did say that was the only movie which didn't have any reshoots. They got it in the can. Gareth, I was about to say Gareth again, obsessed with Gareth Edwards. Rian Johnson twaddled off, he left it in an archive somewhere once it was created, and then they put it out to the masses. Look how that worked out.
Yeah,
we had animal cruelty adverts in the middle of the movie. We had a ridiculous, superfluous jaunt off to Cantle Bite with Rose Tico and Finn. Went nowhere. DJ, complete cul-de-sac of a story arc. Went nowhere, it done nothing.
No.
And then he's subsequently coming out after the release when fans are rightfully criticising it, saying you could do this, which lent to absolutely nothing in terms of storytelling. It went nowhere, but you didn't have time to have Luke Skywalker mourning his good friend Han Solo, and then he has the cheek to come out and say that he had no time for it. Well, there you go. There's a perfect example of why movies need reshots. Sometimes you have to have another mind come in, like Tony Gilroy, and say, "No, that's not working. That isn't working. That isn't working," and then they go in and they redo it. That's why you do reshoots. Yeah. Nothing to worry about at all, Stephen, for me.
Yeah.
But look, I shall move on, because I'm giving it away, to the next topic. This one is all about George Lucas and special edition changes.
Yeah.
Perhaps Star Wars 9 can explain them. And they're saying, I think this is all to do, Stephen, with the Force Ghost at the end.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I'm
actually not read through the article. You briefly blasted through it. But they are utilising Hayden Christensen and Sebastian Shaw as the main thing, and obviously Rey's in there. So perhaps, I think what they're hinting at is that Rey's story arc in this movie will explain some things and why they were done that way.
Some people are still holding out for Hayden Christensen
to make
an appearance, John. I think that's where the angle of this article possibly is going, in hope.
I should have read it.
There's obviously speculation. There's nothing concrete that says he's going to appear in episode 9, but it focuses on the special editions and primarily the 2004 DVD releases, which I remember purchasing, and seeing that scene at the very end didn't bother me as much as it bothered a lot of people. I thought we already were introduced to Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker in Attack of the Clones in 2002, so I was ready for this. A lot of people's theories are that this is, the point when Anakin, he turned bad, so he's been resurrected in his likeness to when he turned bad.
When he was last good,
Yeah, when he was last good. So that does make sense to me. Is it jarring? I think the way they shot it was because obviously eye lines and stuff like that. It just didn't look right. I think the way they got Hayden Christensen to pose as well, it was a very, he was kind of looking down and looking very quite creepy, looking rather than being at peace, and happy,
almost like
looking
John
at his son. Yeah.
In some of the outtakes, he's turned the camera. It's quite ominous. I think it was Magical Mystery Tour when he had slicked back hair and he was looking very strangely at the camera. Yeah. That was like Hayden. Stephen, I agree with what they're saying here, that the prospect of perhaps Hayden coming back has certainly, the door has been left ajar just purely because of those changes at the end of Return of the Jedi. I'd love to see Hayden come back.
Yeah.
I think he get unfair stick. I don't think he's as bad an actor as those movies portrayed him to be. Just all the dialogue was almost absolutely shit.
Yeah, the funny thing is, John, going back to Sebastian Shaw, I'm always ready to say Sebastian Stan, but going back to him and his portrayal, it's funny that mindset that most of us had for the original trilogy growing up with it was that Anakin and Obi-Wan were of similar age, and this kind of confirmed it when the reveal from the original Return of the Jedi released that they were very similar in age. I think Sebastian Shaw was actually a lot older, maybe about 10, 15 years older than Alec Guinness at this point, but it showed that it wasn't really a mentor and student relationship. It was more of a friendship, a brotherhood. Obviously, when the prequels came out, that all changed, and there was more of a student and mentor relationship. The way it was focused, with the younger actor coming in to play Anakin Skywalker. But listen, it doesn't bother me in the slightest. Leading up to episode 9, it might correct a few things for a lot of fans that don't mind it. Certainly wouldn't look shoehorned in if Anakin was to make an appearance. This could be the redemption of Ben Solo, Anakin's appearance. This might be it. Yeah,
look, Stephen, as you did say, touching upon, just briefly before I move on, the Sebastian Stan, that was some of the Sebastian Shaw, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
That was one thing that always annoyed me after watching the prequels. How old Also, Anakin Skywalker was.
He was in his 80s. The actor was in his 80s.
The Bacta tank treatment had an adverse side effect.
Yeah.
And it aged him rapidly because he was not the same age.
That's what happens when you use Asda's own brand instead of Radox then, but...
Yes. And obviously, Obi-Wan aged incredibly quickly too. How do you go from having that head of hair to 20 years later having a side part and being white? And obviously that was just
twin sons, John.
Yeah, I was about to say that. The binary star system was obviously having a really bad impact. Even Jabba the Hutt was a handsome figure back in the day. And
Uncle Owen was only 21.
That perhaps explains Aunt Beru's voice then.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's why she's so youthful sounding, but she looks like an old woman.
Yeah.
It's all very strange. Look, I'm all for
Maybe they're using that face app.
Yeah, I've certainly been using that.
Yeah.
What a terrifying sight. I shouldn't have been using it though, from what I hear. Oh, stealing your likeness.
Yeah.
Welcome to my likeness. I'll never command any fee for this likeness, let me tell you. But Stephen, I've never been against the special editions and the additional footage and stuff and the CG effects they put in. I thought that in the most it made the viewing experience much better. It tied it in to the prequels, and it has lent itself to perhaps having an influence on the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
We could perhaps see Hayden Christensen making a return, something I'd all for.
Yeah.
But
I think it would be good for the actor as well, John. I think he got a raw deal with the prequels. I don't think it was his fault. Natalie Portman, an award-winning actress, also didn't look that great.
Yeah, it's the CG with the pair.
Yeah, and some of the dialogue as well. You can't fault the actor for that. They're only doing their job.
Yes.
But listen,
hopefully he comes back.
And this might be his time, you know.
Yeah, Stephen, finally though, I'm going to round this show up with one final little brief topic. We skipped over it last week, much to...
you told me about it, but I didn't listen.
Yeah, much to our envy, because we've seen other shows discussing it. It's all about these Sith troopers, which are going to be appearing in the Rise of Skywalker. These are very dashing red stormtroopers with a little hint of clone trooper in there with that line going down the middle.
Not
they have popped up at the San Diego Comic-Con. Full display has been arranged there with all the various different troopers. We have the original Stormtrooper, the First Order Stormtrooper, the Sand Troopers, and they're just the Death Troopers from, obviously, what's his face, Krennic's special group, his special command group, or whatever they're called. I've forgotten the name. Death Troopers.
Yeah, Death Troopers.
But there was a name for the group, I'm sure, that popped up on, obviously, Scarif. And there, right in the middle, Stephen, is this very dashing red trooper. Now, we didn't really speak about this in general, even off here.
I think at
what
that point, though, John, it was the toy we would have been talking about.
What do you think they're going to... What part do you think they're going to play? Just shoehorning it into this topic, Stephen, because they look incredible.
Yeah, I think J.J. Abrams is shoehorning into sell toys as well. That Lego figure looks amazing. But
I would buy that in a
heartbeat. Those ones, I don't know. I don't understand the whole Sith trooper. I don't understand it. It's a Sith underneath these costumes. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense because they categorically said the Sith wouldn't be involved. Then we get Palpatine's laugh. But going back to The Last Jedi, those guards, the throne room, I hated the look of them. They looked plastic. They just looked terrible.
And they were terrible as well.
And I had the same feelings when I saw these guys as well. Not that they looked bad, but I just felt, why are we not using Imperial guards? You know, the ones in the sort of velvet capes, and those big long masks. I thought they looked amazing in Return of the Jedi. I think they might have made an appearance in Rogue One as well, at the Bacta tank scene, if I'm not mistaken. I think they should have been utilised a little bit more, possibly in The Last Jedi. I think that would have been a lot better than those plastic samurais.
Yeah, Stephen, I think, and I agree with you, that I would have used the Imperial Guard as well, but I think there is no coincidence that Sheev comes back, and now we see these Sith troopers appearing on the scene. We've not seen a Sith in the sequel trilogy as of yet, so I think this is pretty significant. I think they will have a thread of connection to Palpatine in some way. I don't know what the thread will be. Maybe they're just guarding some relic on the Death Star, the ruins on Endor. Could be though, very intriguing perhaps that we may see, I can't recall the character's name. She appeared in the, what was it called, Stephen? The Lost Stars, is it? The Claudia Gray novel? No, it wasn't that. No, it wasn't. It was the other one. But it was an Imperial. I think it was the I'm about to say Luke Chedwick. What's his name? Chuck Wendig.
No,
What's it? The Aftermath trilogy, I think it was. The Imperial Commander, the female character. She was part of some splinter group with the First Order. Obviously the founding of the First Order. I think she was involved. I've not read the full trilogy, I've only seen the first novel, so I don't actually know how that's went, whether she's still alive or not. It's annoying me, I can't recall her name. But she was part of a splinter group, I think, and there was warring factions of the Fallen Empire. Could this be a way for them to perhaps bring her in? She's part of some splinter group which has formed itself around this Chief Palpatine thing, this relic. Perhaps he's still...
It sounds interesting for a second act, John, in a trilogy, but not in the third one. This is the film they need to wrap everything
up. What's her name? That's
I just think that this whole trilogy has just been, very clunky. I don't want to see too much introduction to new characters. I want to see them focus and take care of the existing characters that they've developed or tried to develop over the last two films. I want to see Poe's story finish. I want to see, obviously, Rey's story finish, and obviously Finn's primarily. Introducing new characters. I don't mind the likes of Richard E. Grant's characters coming in. These are side characters that are going to just support the existing cast. That's not an issue. That theory that you mentioned, John, would work. It would work in a second film. I don't think I'd want to see it in a third film.
Admiral Ray Sloan is the character's name. I'm pretty sure she was involved. She was a sort of a rebellion type figure, a rebellious type figure in the fledgling First Order. So I don't know if she's still alive. I've not been keeping up with the canon, sadly, over the last year or so. So perhaps it's a dead end and it can't work. But I was just thinking, with the Sith Troopers, the re-emergence of Chief Palpatine, perhaps she could be involved in some way, because it's very strange that we have these red Stormtroopers. But look, Stephen, that is going to round up this week's episode of the Force Friday show. What did you make of the various topics we spoke about? Do you agree with Daisy Ridley that fans can be a little bit less vitriolic in their criticism of the movies, or should they have free rein to do whatever the hell they want? What do you make of the reshoots in the Rise of Skywalker? Is it something to be concerned about, or do you share our sentiments that it's nothing to worry about? What do you make of the Sith Troopers? What the hell do you make about the other topic, which has completely left my mind? Doesn't matter. If you've got anything to say, Anakin Skywalker, will he re-emerge? Do you think he will? If you've got anything to say about that, comment below and let us know what your thoughts are. Like the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this going forward, and we will be back next Monday with MBE Box Office.